Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.16. It was another bloodbath in crypto today. Look at the price of Bitcoin. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And if you look at the price of Bitcoin, XRP is holding up very well right now. And are we going to test $2 again? I don't know. Nobody knows for sure. But right now, it looks like XRP is starting to move back up. Now, tomorrow, we could see even more crash with Bitcoin. I see a lot of people saying it's going under 50K in the short term. If that happens, what's going to happen with the altcoins? Are we going to see an alt season? I think an alt season is loading, and I don't think it's over for Bitcoin yet. Honestly, I think Bitcoin's going to start to rebound and pull the rest of the market up with it. Right now, there's a lot of sell-off in the ETFs. You have OG Bitcoin holders also selling off as well. This is the craziest cycle we have ever seen for crypto. It seems like the most delayed cycle, but it's also very crazy because in previous cycles, you didn't have Bitcoin maxis selling off their Bitcoin. Remember, you're supposed to hold Bitcoin forever. But this time around, I think a lot of people are fed up with Bitcoin. I think they're fed up with Ethereum. And all it takes is one of these altcoins, like XRP, to start breaking out. And maybe XRP leads us into alt season. Let's see what happens from here. And like I said, Bitcoin's down to 92K. It was almost down to 90K earlier today before it started bouncing back upward. But I would love to see Bitcoin start to really break out. Do that last major move before it comes crashing down. Because if that happens, it's going to pull the rest of the market up with it. But you don't panic on days like today. When there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy more. And you don't sell on red days. I stress that more than anything. I see so many people giving up on crypto all the time. And I think it's because they really don't understand what they're holding. And here's the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Yesterday, it was at 18. Today, it's at 17. And it seems to keep dropping. And again, I don't think I've ever seen the Fear and Greed Index this low. Maybe back in 2020 when the Ripple versus SEC case started with everything else that was going on back then as well. But right now, people are very fearful of what's going to happen with Bitcoin. And I think it could also be that stablecoins are all the talk now. Tokenization's all the talk now. It's no longer about Bitcoin anymore. Institutions are looking past it. XRP tests the key $2.15 support level as technical analysis anticipate potential surge to 240 to 270 level if bulls hold this key zone against the whales. We actually fell below support earlier today. Then we bounced back up quickly above $2.15. But if we go lower from here, the next support, I believe, is $1.90. So we will go below $2 if we lose that support zone. But I think something's going to start to really push the price of XRP in the other direction. There's a lot of catalysts going on right now, lining up one after another. Then the ETFs, they're going to have an impact on the price of XRP. I think the reason they haven't so far is the whole market is down right now. And people keep saying that they're tanking Bitcoin on purpose because of the XRP ETF launches that are happening right now. Well, we have a multitude of ETFs coming for XRP. So what are they going to do? Tank Bitcoin every single day as ETF after ETF goes live for XRP? I just think that's speculation. XRP is in a similar 20-month EMA retest set up to 2017. If history repeats, we are about to witness a price surge. If you look at the chart for XRP, you could see how bullish this cryptocurrency is. You know a breakout is coming. Why would you panic sell now? You want to be here when XRP goes parabolic. You want to be here making all that money. 2017 and now doesn't look any different. Really, it doesn't. It just depends on where we are as far as the 2017-2018 run. We might not even be here in this square. We might still be all the way down here, waiting for this to happen. And if that's the case, we are going much higher. Tom Lee says Ethereum is bottoming this week. Take a listen.
So what are some of the idiosyncratic elements that we should be thinking about as it pertains to Ethereum in the meantime?
Well, Ethereum kind of has several ways that it establishes a floor. One is that the value of all the assets locked onto the blockchain, and that number is growing. But historically, Ethereum bottoms when that ratio is about 50%. So I'd say we're pretty close to that level. That's why I think Ethereum probably is bottoming this week.
I don't know if the bottom's going to come in this week. Everybody's trying to call the bottom in crypto right now. Everybody wants to be that guy. I never like to rush things. I always like to see how the market looks over a 48-hour period. If it starts bouncing back upward, I don't want to see it bounce upward for a couple of hours and say, that's it, the bottom is in, only to watch it drop even lower. That's why you give it a day or so, and that'll give you a good idea on where the market is going to go next. But I think the hype around Ethereum is gone. Same thing with Bitcoin. I think people are just losing interest in it. They're looking past it already. What retail investor is going to come into this market and buy Ethereum at $3,091? They're not going to. They're going to buy something cheaper like XRP so they could stack a decent bag of it. Nobody wants to be a half coiner. Everybody wants to be a whole coiner. That's why most of retail doesn't buy Bitcoin. They already are looking past it. Take a listen to this. The launch of the XRP ETF marks a significant milestone in institutional adoption for XRP, and we are eager to facilitate this transition for our clients. That comes from Jenny Johnson, CEO of Franklin Templeton. So the ETF marks a significant milestone in institutional adoption, is what she's saying. And that ETF, everybody thought it was going to go live today. But Eleanor Tourette says this. They updated their S1 on the 4th. So if you think 20 days from here. So now they're saying that the Franklin Templeton ETF is going to launch between November 24th and December 1st. Other people are arguing that it's going to go live today. Let's see what happens. And either way, we still got another ETF going live today. Yeah, baby, we're going live. Ticker XRPM, 3% monthly income ETF. And you see right here, the launch date, 11/18/2025. This is Amplify's income ETF. And it was confirmed by the CBOE. A new filing from CBOE just confirmed the approval and listing of the Amplify XRP 3% monthly premium income ETF under the Exchange Act of 1934. Things just got serious. And this ETF is also expected to do better than the Canary ETF as well. Let's see what happens. And Black Swan Capitalist doesn't like the idea of an XRP ETF. And I agree with him on a lot of this. Could every XRP ETF be doomed? You can't cage a currency. The concept of an XRP ETF is fundamentally misaligned with what XRP is and how it was designed to function within the global financial system. ETFs are instruments built for securitized exposure, for passive speculation, and for institutional intermediation, meaning they allow large pools of capital to gain exposure to assets without requiring holders to interact with the underlying asset directly. XRP, however, is not a security. XRP is a currency liquidity instrument whose value derives from its free movement, settlement compatibility, and network utility, not from being confined inside a passive financial wrapper. In other words, he's saying these ETFs are paper XRP. Even though the companies that are launching these ETFs, they have to hold the actual asset. And I agree with him. I was never a fan of the ETFs in the first place, but I figured if it's going to move the price of XRP and if it's going to swallow up the circulating supply, so be it. We get rich as XRP holders. But he's not wrong, because XRP doesn't need an ETF. It's going to emerge as the world's bridge currency. And like he said, you can't cage a currency. I'm fearful, so I'm out. I got into crypto in late 2014, small dollars back then, and I've grown my portfolio across multiple coins, mainly Bitcoin and ETH. I bought 10 coins around 70K, and today I sold them all. The current market doesn't feel the same. It's full of hype and overpromises. I fear winter is coming. Crypto winter. I'm going to spend this money on my family and maybe buy some VOO or SPY to periodically remain exposed to markets. Best of luck, holders. I won't be among you. It was a fun ride, and now, if I'm honest with myself, it's time to get off. I might consider buying around 70K. There's no telling, though, where the resistance will occur. Don't be that guy if you're an XRP holder. And this, I see this every single day. People are afraid that their portfolio is going to go to zero. XRP is not going to zero. You see how everything is aligning for this cryptocurrency right now. You know, if the BIS came out tomorrow and said XRP is now a tier 1 asset, that's it. It's game over for retail. Plus, for the first time ever, you beat the institutions to something like XRP that has never happened before in the past. Know what you hold when you hold this cryptocurrency, and don't be in such a rush to sell it because the market turns red. XRP declines amid extreme fear and institutional outflows. So now they're talking about XRP dipping below $2. You know, they always put out these articles on red days. It's like they want you to sell your XRP. They want to shake you out of this space. And that should make you want to hold on even more. I'm telling you, when XRP turns around, and it's going to, you want to be holding when that happens. Sure, today's a red day, but we might get another red day tomorrow. We might get another red day the day after that. But you know what's eventually going to happen? XRP is going to break out, and it's going to go to double digits. It's first going to go into price discovery. The FOMO is going to be absolutely astronomical. Retail FOMO. This time around, you're also going to have institutional FOMO, because they got to keep buying that XRP for these ETFs as well. This time around, it's so much different than in the past. And alt season is absolutely coming. Whether ETH leads us into alt season or XRP leads us into alt season. But we will all see one very soon. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.